A cup of brackish water is shoved against my teeth, clinks once, twice, my tongue slipping over the cup's rim. I tell myself, Zam Zam, this is truly water from heaven, gift from God in my hour of need. The cup recedes, the hand holding it smooth, olive-skinned. Mossad or Fata? Thank you.
Well done, that was lovely. Right, well...
This was a poem I written yesterday, and it's called The Black and White Panda. Big black and white panda sitting like a big pudding that he can't hardly move because his big belly in the way. Big black eyes like someone's giving panda 2 black eyes. Sitting on the grass looking up to the sky, he sees butterfly fly up in the air, then charges about and kicks his ball with joy.
Changing face of doctors. As you know, we've got many changes in London. You wouldn't recognise it. At night, the stars like fireflies flit upon the rippling Thames, like fairy lights upon the yachts, and hide the filth from whence it stems. The docks that were the open gates where once the bargeman plied his trade, the clip of horse on cobblestone, a rhythmic magic sound was played. A Turkish child remembers still the heavy smell from the canal, lifted high on grey brick wall to watch the ships with foreign bow, watch the masts and hear the sound of deep-throated echoing horn, not knowing then the bitterness of men that wait for work from dawn. Nothing changes. And further down the sewers squelch, where rats build havens in the bank, tales are told of piracy in bars where rum is nightly drunk. The raucous sound of laughter that echoed with the waves, where women's lives were sacrificed in ways that wealth depraves. And families lived on means test, a handout from the state. The history of the docks, my lad, is steeped in all its hate. Now at night St Catherine's a haven for the rich. Marina speaks of high-priced homes along the river pitch. Amongst all this splendour the Tower Hotel has sprung. The tourists speak in foreign tongue where Cockney songs were sung. The river flows beneath the bridge, its changing faces seen. Only the old among us remember what has been. I think women will understand this one. It's called Invasion. This thing I was born with, dare I mention it by name, made me a woman. I hid it in my shame, not to be referred to by anyone but me, my private secret organ that the player mustn't see. The years of growing up with thoughts I kept inside, through school and adolescence was this thing I had to hide. Then the monthly cycle convinced me with its pain that the maker who had made us must have been insane. The giggles in the courtyard, in the toilets, now it's clear, were not anticipation but the product of our fear. Their marriage intervened in the darkness under sheets, where man had entered woman and left her no retreat. In the months that followed, modesty had crawled away on the stretchers in maternity where the medics had their say. Now this private thing is not private anymore, as others probe its secrets and my inner self explore. The fears of adolescence make no heed today. Man the invader has swept reserves away. Now, on looking back, the battles to regain for liberated woman is private once again.
This is from my own workshop this morning, because I did the workshop at the same time. When I did, I asked people to write down 4 words that they thought a lot about or was passionate about, and then choose one and write something about it. So here's what I wrote. I'll try and get it in. The things I wrote down were sea, sky, atmosphere, and nothing. That was my 4 things. So I picked the last one because nothing's easy, isn't it? Right. So what I wrote was, nothing in the universe is more fascinating than nothing. For if we did not know about nothing, how would we know when, or even if we ever had something? How could I say there's nothing left and then carry on as if there was something? Now, that sounds daft, probably because it is. However, consider how would we count to 10 if we didn't have nothing? Besides the double negative, that is not as crazy as it sounds. We can't count beyond 9 without a nothing to help us to get to 11. And what about that double negative? Well, there's another when we get to 100. Two nothings together. 1,000, anyone?
I knew a strange place. A new school, a new college, public transport, holidays, even a new home and neighbourhood, all can be considered a strange place to befriend someone. However, I can think of much more unusual places than those, and when I do, I realise how awkward the situation is for my characters. When I brought the main characters in my book, Jonathan and Annie, together for the first time, my thoughts immediately turned to how they would befriend each other. They both have Asperger's syndrome and are very shy. They've only had their younger siblings to keep them company all their lives. Jonathan feels especially awkward. He would like to befriend Annie, but he worries that a rich girl like her would not have anything to do with a working class boy like him. Only a voice in Jonathan's head reminds him that Annie has no friends. Annie feels awkward too. She would like to befriend Jonathan, but she is concerned that he has the very concerns that I have just described. So she shows him her secret den, a very old, dilapidated and dusty study where she usually seeks solace. Thus here in this most downtrodden of places, Jonathan and Annie pluck up their courage and attempt to get to know each other. And it turns out that they have more in common than just being Aspies.
And it's, I suppose you could call it a protest song, and it's interesting because that's what we wrote about last night at Stephen New Survivors at Andy's workshop. It was about protest. This is a very sad song, but it's very beautiful. It's not my words, it's not my song. And I sing it for those whom it was written about, and I sing it for all the present day refugees, those who are displaced, who are just suffering because of man's inhumanity to man. And I sing it for all of us so that we may feel that connection with ourselves and each other. Crops are all in and the peaches are rotting. The oranges are stacked in their creosote dumps. They're flying them back to the Mexican border. It takes all their money just to wade back again. So farewell to my friends, goodbye Rosalita, adios mis amigos, Jesus de Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big aeroplane. All they will call you will be deportee. Well, my father He waded the river. They took all the money he made in his life. My sisters and brothers, they worked in your fruit fields, rode on your trucks till they lay down and died. So farewell to my friends, goodbye Rosalita, adios mis amigos, Jesus and Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big aeroplane. All they will call you will be deportees. Well, some of us are illegal, and all are not wanted. The work contract's out and we've got to move on. It's 500 miles to the Mexican border, and they chase us like outlaws, like rustlers, like thieves. So farewell to my friends, goodbye Rosalita, adios mis amigos, Jesus and Maria. It's a big aeroplane. All they will call you will be deported. Well, the sky plane caught fire over Los Gatos Canyon. A fireball of lightning, it shook all our hills. And who are those friends who lie scattered like dry leaves? The radio said they were just deportees. So farewell to my friends, goodbye Rosalita, adios mis amigos, Jesus and Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big aeroplane. All they will call you will be deportees. Well, we died in your hills, and we died in your valleys. We died on your mountains, and we died on your plains. We died neath your trees, and we died neath your bushes. Both sides of your border we died just the same. So farewell to my friends, goodbye Rosalita, adios mis amigos, Jesus and Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big aeroplane. All they will call you will be deportees.
The title of my article is called A Close Shave with Death. It is just over 70 years ago that the war with Germany ended, to be exact 8th of May 1945, although the war in the Far East was to go on for another 3 months. Right up to May 1945, the Germans continued to raid London with guided missiles. First, a year earlier, was the V1, nicknamed the Doodlebug. We had ample warning of these V1 planes. The top speed was 100 miles an hour, and the radar soon picked them up. But with the V2 rocket, it was a different story. They were far more dangerous than the Doodlebugs. and the RAF were not able to deal with the V2s. They were more deadly due to the lack of warning, and their speed was 1,000 miles an hour compared with the V1s, which could do 400 miles an hour. Many of the civilians were affected by the V2s, and some were killed, others seriously injured. I became a casualty myself, as I'm going to outline what happened in my case. At the time of the incident, I was a 10-year-old schoolboy living in Bexley, Kent. Kent and the southeast of London bore the brunt of the V1s and the V2s due to their proximity to the continent and closeness, Calais being the launching point where the Germans launched their guided missile weapons. I was playing football with fellow schoolboys when I heard a loud bang. This was followed by a thud on my head. I took my school cap off, and to my horror, I saw it was smouldering with the outer lining burnt. Then I noticed a piece of smouldering metal on the ground. I picked it up, but it was very hot, so I dropped it quickly. It was very fortunate that this piece of metal only hit my head, and that I had my school cap on. That piece of strap.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the roses dying. It's you must go and I must buy, but come me back when summer's in the meadow, or when the vale is hushed and white with snow. Yes, life is there in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so. But when you come and all the roses dying, if I am dead as I may be, you come and find the place where I am lying, and kneel and say over there before me, and I shall hear those soft and tread above me, and on my grave the warm and sweet be. For you will bend and say that you love me, and I shall sleep in peace until you come to me.
Kessel's not still here, is he? In that case, I'm Dave Kessel standing, because Dave did a great little soapbox session this afternoon, which a lot of people came to, which was great. And Lucia talking about people gone beyond, or lost people. The workshop was about the poems of somebody called Howard Mingham, who me and Dave both knew way back in the Hackney Writers' Workshop days in the 1970s and 1980s. Howard died tragically young, and Dave, although he was sort of laying down his role a bit earlier, is responsible really for getting Howard's work back in print, so that people can remember what a great poet he was.
So anyway, yes, so me and David both knew Howard, and all his poems were brilliant. I read out one earlier on called The Rain, so it makes sense. I'm just going to read one more poem of Howard's called After the Rain, in the sequel. So this is not mine, this is Howard Mingham's After the Rain. After the rain, a holy pagan light fell from cloud and struck the pavement slab. In all the canyon's silence moved no crowd. But in the stinking mist alone, in the incense of the dying rain, I stood on the brown-soaked stone, and I heard the song of the drain. I am the hope and the escape. I am the tunnel to the drowning sea. I am the gay Marie and the dismal, and I am neither the light nor the way. Into me rolls the runaway penny. To all things I am sanctuary. I am their church, their catacomb, their nunnery, and I am neither the light nor the way. By the trickling cave on the curb I sat, my head stone heavy in my helpless hands, and in the sour valley of the stone-faced flats, the drain sang to me, and I dreamt of those distant, waiting lands where none made, no promise is broken, and the streams run clear to the honest sands, where no man has stood, and thus no lie been spoken. Yes, into me rolls the runaway penny, and longs the hopeless refugee. I am the catacomb and nunnery, and I am neither the light nor the way. I am merry in song and sing of the sea, and into me trickles the washed out day, and I drink of the hopeless refugee, and I am neither the light nor the way. Thank you.
Agitated arguments with no sense, wicked words with cruel tongue unheard, drama of an opera star, matriarch go many a far, dismay truths from times gone by, then burns it on the fire, a lie. Tutors of being bad, turning out so sad, hell's there, seen its curse, a long line of hallowed pain, living life and broken shells, dainty petals of April showers, tears falling from broken reeds, sheltered under apple trees. Many a soul has walked this path, many fallen through his boughs, our tree of life, destiny. Thank you.
Okay, a couple of shortish poems which are relevant to what's going on in the world today. First one, Oceans Apart. Upon the oceans, deep and vast, many people in the past would hoist their sails upon the foam to find a place to call their home. Some were fleeing persecution, some in fear of destitution, others taken forcibly to be sold into slavery. From Europe and from Africa, they gathered in America, Australia and Canada, the Welsh and Patagonia, the English, Irish, German, Scot, the wandering Jew, a melting pot into the ocean they would drift, a massive population shift. And that is how it is today. Migration hasn't gone away. You will always see disorder every time they close a border. It is natural to flee. Life is best across the sea. And despite our place of birth, we're really citizens of Earth. We see blue when in peace, red when we're riled, yellow in sunshine and green in the wild, black when depressed, white when we're pure, and shades of grey when we're feeling unsure. The colours we feel and the colours we see are the same for all of humanity, and despite the shade of a person's skin, the colour's the same when you look within. And yet it's not entirely true that we all see as others do. The rainbow, displayed to all mankind, looks different if you're colourblind, so think about it. There you go.
I'm going to read a poem that we did this afternoon at the workshop with Andrew. It's called Ant. So small but so organised, marshalled, regimented in your task like military precision. I am Queen Ant directing operations, my drones march here and there. My world covered in giant objects. Oh toil, they never tire. Rolling here, rolling there, no object too large or too small. Organised to a T, if one fails, another takes over. What a they team. Hobnail boots, khaki trousers, my tiara slips a little. I can't see operations, I need my bifocal glasses. I was born a commoner and not royalty. Can you tell by my attire? I ascended to succession as to the demise of my predecessors. The honeypot got them all in one fell swoop. A sticky end for a dynasty. So here I am, queen for the day, learning as I go. My father was a yellow ant, my mother was a red one. So I turned out a lovely orange. Queen Tango they call me, but I do a good meringue and direct my troops through rhythm and rhyme. Once I got dusted with iridescent powder, and for a week I glowed at night. Every time car lights caught me, I was revered as a deity until the rain came down and washed me. I think I was voted queen as to this sole reason. They are still waiting for the miracle of me. But what they don't realise is that we are all the same, except that I'm orangey.
Lonely Squire. I can't sing, by the way. Are you all right?
He's a real trooper, he always...
But I'm here in her place, and here's a poem that she wrote earlier. I'm not obliged to write it down. Breathing in, I lose my frown. Traffic working down below, its structured lines all in a flow. Talking softly like the birds overhead, the feather swoops down from the wing it shed. Pens are spinning upon the paper, then read it out or maybe later. Breathe in, breathe out. Getting air into my snout, darkened lamppost a light it shines, and the howling dog under weather it whines. Breathing slowly, breathing fast. It all depends on how the lot is cast. Spittle in my mouth, soaks up. Should I drink all the coffee in my cup? The chair is soft, a delight to me, where I can relax and my mind be free. Breathing quiet, breathing loud. I would like to soar up with a cloud. Beeping horns distract my thoughts, put my senses out of sorts. Thank you.
This is what I wrote, and it went down quite well last night. That protest. Like a soldier into battle, armed and ready to avenge, overseeing any hurdles, fierce and proud to an end. The stateroom machinery leers as we take our stance, mentally prepared to support the working man. Our Bibles, our ammunition, our flags wave high. With soul and bravery, we fight this mighty foe. Austerity is their weapon, democracy is ours. We can win with numbers and defeat their bankrupt ways. The first win is only one game. There's still another league to go. It is the David and Goliath show, and we are on our way. A victory for democracy and promotion to another league. Revolution is the aim to fight, win and succeed. We did the Unusual Trinity workshop, and I'm going to try and explain what I exactly went through while I was having Reiki done to me. And it was something like this. The energy passed through me, lighting up my heart, ascending from the ground and raising through my head. I was a hollow channel, from peace to engage with my being. Every cell, every fibre was engaged in this process. In all directions alternating, reversing the path of... I've got the glasses in, sorry. In all directions alternating, reversing the point of my chest, aligned with energy, beating out a strong vibration. It lifted my spirit. It was like I was a giant oak, a tree firmly rooted to the earth. The words guided me into peace, calm and spirituality. The wind of love had soothed and calmed my anxiety. I could now think clearly, uncluttered and relaxed. I am energised and ready to write.
This morning I attended Michael Bungay's class, and the exercise was to suddenly wake up and find yourself in a strange place. I woke up to find myself listening to water. It appeared to be pouring in from everywhere, but I couldn't understand it all because I lived in a perfectly ordinary basement bed sit. Surely it must be my imagination, because where would the water have come from? I thought I must be dreaming, and I tried to go to sleep again. I think I must have gone back to sleep, or drifted off, as they say. And then I woke up again, and this time I decided to see what was happening. I got out of bed and found I was paddling through cold water, so I walked over to the light switch and tried to turn it on. But cold water and electricity don't mix, and I got a sensation of prickles running up my arm, but the light did go on. A horrifying sight met my eyes. My little bedsit flat was being flooded. My canvases, I was an art student, were being ruined. First I started trying to move things higher up, but the water kept rising. Then I tried to open the door of my bedsit, but I couldn't. The force of the water building up stopped me. I shouted. I was trapped by... Sorry, I'm going to turn the page here. By the rising water. I got out my mobile phone and I decided to call the police. When they answered, I said, I'm trapped in a basement bedsit which is fast becoming flooded. Water is rising and I can't get the door of my bedsit open. Nothing to do with the police, it's a fire brigade job. So I rang the fire brigade. But we've had calls from all over London. Some of the combined water sewage leaks have been terrible. Look, I can't get my bedsit door open. Are you an old lady? No, I'm young. At that time I was. Well, we've been along. Eventually the fire brigade came, and with a man's strength they pulled my bedsit door open, so I was 3. They pumped the water out, but the wreckage was terrible. Most of my clothes were ruined. My fridge and my store and my stove were ruined, and so were my carpets. It turned out that the landlord was insured, but I wasn't, so I got new carpets, new stove and a new fridge. But my clothes and the pictures I'd painted were absolutely ruined, and my personal stuff was not insured, so I did not get the smell out easily. Never rented a basement flat or bedsit. Thank you.
This is something I wrote this morning at the Strange Place workshop. I call it Strange Horizon. Apparently I've been told this is good for kids or something in that context. Anyway, it goes. A group of people were locked up in a small, strange room. They were all complaining about the space and decor, everything they could think of. Their captives grew tiresome of their argumentative behaviour, so they set off a gas which put them in a deep trance. They all found themselves in a room with the door open, and when they went to exit, they looked behind them. They were in a tower. Not only that, but it was what could only be described as a snake shape. They all walked a while on uneven ground when they came to a forest. These too were snake-shaped. In fact, any tall tree or structure they came to was the same, in the shape of a snake. After all the uneven grounds and buildings, some felt nauseous and some even physically sick. As they fell down from all the dizziness this had given them, they heard a trickling sound that sounded like a stream, just what they needed. They crawled along towards the sound, and it wasn't very far away. There was a stream they all heard. It was a strange colour, a sort of pinky colour, but they didn't care about that they needed to drink. They tasted it, and one said, tastes like strawberries. Another said, this tastes like oranges. Everyone had a different flavour, that they liked it best of all. After they'd drunk, there was a loud crashing sound, like a dinosaur pounding its feet. They were cautious, but out of curiosity, they looked. It was the tower they'd not long left. It had walked towards them and stopped to settle itself 10 feet away from them. I think it wants us to go in, said one of them, and the others agreed. Within seconds of them all entering, they fell unconscious again. When they woke up, they found themselves captive in that room that they'd first been in. They all felt kind of queasy, but they still knew where they were. They all thought, and some even said, it was just a dream. But they had that sweet taste, what they got from drinking from the stream. So was it a dream, or something else?
Down in words, but they
seeds of an idea begin to grow. Soon I'm drifting, daydreaming to a place where I'm with you. I start writing, it's all so easy. Weave your magic, and that's what you do. Inspiration, inspiration, that's what you are to me. Inspiration, inspiration, because of you I can achieve. Love is something so overwritten about, but you just can't deny the power it wields. Gazing into your eyes, I feel invincible. You are the bookmark in my heart, my guiding light. Inspiration, inspiration, that's what you are to me. Inspiration, inspiration, because of you I can achieve. Oh, inspiration, inspiration, only you I can achieve. My inspiration, inspiration, because of you I can achieve.
Well, I think one or two goes wrong, but this is, this is the way it goes. Anyway, ladies and gents, that's it for this year. I'd really like to thank everybody for coming, and hope you've enjoyed it. And hopefully, we'll see you all again next year. Good night.